Hey Duchess, I haven't seen you there for a while. Great to see you. Loving the love. So let's get into it then. The memes. What do we want this one. We get our little faces coming in. Let's get ready for the memes. And thank you to those who sent in the memes. Karens beware. Karens beware. So let's get into it then with this week's Your Memes. Memes montage. Looks like even the richest man in the world can have a midlife crisis. I must say, I did see Sandy there saying about ready to screenshot, right? Oh no. Hold on. I'll get ready. I'll get ready for you to do the screenshot, Sandy. Hold on. You want to screenshot this one? You ready? Or this one? So it's that time of year again. Don't forget to hang your missile toads. Missile? They don't know how to spell. Hey, I suppose it is because it's a missile on a toad. Mistletoe. Missile toads. Very good. Don't know who sent any of these in, by the way. I just literally cut them up and didn't look at them too much. Psycho the rapist. Oh no, it's a psychotherapist. It's one word, George. Psychotherapist. Very good. So, round the table, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, and the federal government. This is basically how it plays out. What am I? I think I'm Gen X, isn't it? Must be. Yeah, that's about right. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? No one's got anything. Yeah? Everyone's got an empty plate. Except you know who. So, the Pope said getting the vaccine is an act of love. Maybe, but a forced act of love is called rape. It's genius, that one, isn't it? The Pope said getting the vaccine is an act of love. Maybe, but a forced act of love is called rape. Can't argue with that, can you? Check it out. 6-11, food market. What a rip-off for a start. 7-Eleven, loads of them in Thailand when we lived there. 8-11, and then you know who. Amazing. Amazing. Government and media poking it. Look, come on, do something. Omicron. Did you notice who noticed my let me know in the chat if you noticed my little snidey ticker top story headline to do with this meme on the SHTF news. Let me know if you spotted my little sneaky top story ticker headline to do with this. Classic. Fucking genius. This is Bob. This is Bob. Bob isn't vaccinated and apparently has superpowers which enables him to infect and kill vaccinated people while preserving his own life. Bob is selfish. Sorry. Christina G caught it. Oh dear. I have fun making those little. I've only got like 6 in there or whatever, but it does take me a while even just to find what I'm going to even put in them top story tickers and get it to fit in. How dare you, Bob. So, am I the only one who did these growing up? Because it seems like a lot of people have forgotten how to connect the dots. I used to love doing connect the dots when I was a kid. Even though I'm like a sort of like award-winning designer now, funnily enough, right, over the years. But I was never an artist. I'm no good at drawing. This is why I used to really love like paint by numbers and things like connect the dots. I think it suits my sort of mathematical, logical brain more than. But a lot of the people I follow on TikTok are very creative. I love sort of natural artists, watching them draw and that. But yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Because how can it seem so clear for some people and yet others just completely just can't see it, just cannot see it. And who remembers from last week's was it last week's Truth or Trivia? Was it optophobia? Remember? Optophobia? Let me know in the chat if you remember what optophobia is the fear of. For a shout out. Optophobia was one of the questions last things. The fear of opening your eyes is what it is. Yeah, I know Sandy was in there. Sandy wins it. Fear of opening your eyes. Yeah, so optophobia. So the fix is in. Santa wondering why there are so many children on the nice list this year. You see, can I tell you, I don't actually get this. And I asked Magic Hand if she got it, and she said no. I said, well, I'll tell you what, maybe it's interesting to ask people in the chat, do you get it? It says here Dominion voting. Maybe there's something about Dominion voting that I should know that I don't. Look, everyone's steaming in there with we're opening their eyes answer to the optophobia. What's up with you, boy? You got optophobia or something? Open your fucking eyes. Oh, dear. Don't I get a hug, Danger Bob? Where's my hug? I want a proper big bear man hug from your ass. Oh, dear. Look, Carolyn gets one. Where's mine? Do you know what I said before, didn't I? If we were properly in like our little tropical beach location that we have sometimes on the live show, it would be cool for us all to be there in real life and all just hugging in a big circle, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty cool. I see. So yeah, I get it. Thank you, Christina G. Yeah. So basically what we're talking about, oh yeah, Danger Bob. Sorry, I didn't see you'd already jumped in there. Messed up by cheating, dog. Yeah. Okay. So basically what's happening is that for those in the UK or wherever or other places of the world that don't get it, the voting machines are a bit basically skew with. So yeah. Obviously, they're using the same technology to send their Christmas lists to Santa. Very good. Thank you for letting me know. That's put me out of my misery. When you forget your mask. Look, she's got a pair of pants on her head, isn't it? Or is it a bra? Oh, no, it's not. It's one of her bra cups, isn't it? Like I say, I purposely don't study these. When all I literally do is drag them into my Photoshop, size them up where they need to be, just blurring my eyes at it, looking at the corners and going boom, chopping it out and exporting it, ready to go. So I like to be able to see these fresh when I first see them. There's a few that catch my eye and I do laugh out loud when I first see them. But I want it to be a first initial reaction. But yeah, look at that. Proper. Like it. 2020, little wave. 2021, epic. 2022, we got Godzilla, innit? Do you remember that thing we had, was it last year? And I did the memes a year ago now, wasn't it? And we had them memes that were showing, was it the African killer hornets, and it was the asteroid, and it was a UFO invasion. There was a whole sequence of things that were going to be coming out, wasn't it? Oh dear. I think this was from Lawrence. Might have been. Thank you, Lawrence, for sending in your memes. If my grandma was still alive, I wouldn't have to worry about COVID-19 because no one would come within 5 feet due to smell of Vicks after she covered me in it. I do actually recall having a reasonable smothering of Vicks myself as a youngster growing up with the snivels. And I seem to remember it being maybe Allbass oil. Is it Allbass oil as well? On the pillow? Put a couple of drops on the pillow. I think that's what I used to do. Mr. D is saying stock market crash. Any info? I did touch on a few things on the SHTF breaking news earlier in the show, but I will be talking more about that, Mr. D, on the Ultimate Live Show channel, dedicated channel, which is connected to this. ultimatelive.show.com, you'll see the link. Follow that and I'll talk about economic collapse on there probably tomorrow or the next day. Honey, please wake up your son. The jab is just a huge cull so the world's government can save 5% of their population from the incoming change in the eccentricity of the pole shift. Honey, please wake up your son. Just send him over to the Ultimate Live Show to watch the Truth or Trivia Red Pill quiz, innit? That'll wake you up. Like it. Like it. Me chilling far, far away from everybody's bullshit. Yeah, I totally feeling that right now. I think that's probably why I started the show off the way I did tonight. At the beginning, when I sort of had a little bit of a rant and a meme, a rant and a moan about the state of affairs out there at the moment. And it does remind me a little bit of that other meme we had to remember the other week, the one with the... Oh god, how did it go about? I can't wait for the bit where we're sitting round a fire with squirrels and eating squirrels on a stick. Yeah, can't wait for the bit where we're all sitting round a fire eating squirrels on a stick. You see, Michelle Clark there says, I really felt your rant. Well, I'm glad at least somebody did on my little rants, because I do worry when I get into my little ranting things that people are going, oh god, and they just turn off and go away when I start going on about stuff. But, you know, yeah, I do try and keep my eye on which things people like and what they don't. Lion Balm says Pedigree Mongrel. I'll tell you what, that in Thailand, Tiger Balm they call it. That's pretty epic stuff. Tiger Balm. In Thailand you get that. See, Heather likes the rants as well. That's right then. As long as there's a couple of you that can actually get through it. Get through it. And out the other side. So odd how countries around the world can't agree to standardise electrical plugs but are in complete lockstep, there's that word, and synchronisation when it comes to imposing authoritarian policies. It's interesting that, isn't it? And you know which is the best one on there? It's got a bit of UK plug in it. Do you know, it's funny, there's a girl on TikTok that I follow and she's an American woman but she's come to live in England. And it's often quite interesting to watch sort of foreigners come to your culture or your country and how all the differences that they spot. And it helps you to sort of appreciate more your own culture and your own country and stuff. And I found that living in Thailand as well. Like we'd lived there for like 10 years or whatever. And then you'd have a family member come out and visit. And of course to them, they're like, oh look, there's just like a monkey rocking about. Oh look, there's like a van, there's like a motorbike going along with like 5 Thai people crammed onto one tiny little motorbike with a baby in the basket on the front, right? Now, when you lived in Thailand, in a little island for 10 years, right, believe me, you see enough little motorbikes with like 5 people on it and all the kids and a baby in the basket on the front, right? But when you've got like a family friend or a friend or family member come over to visit and they've never been to Thailand before, they're like, everything to them is like, wow, look at this. And like they're like power lines that are just sparking and buzzing, going because the infrastructure is like so nasty. And of course, it's not you take it for granted, but you don't notice these things because it's just your home, yeah. And so I like following these people who are documenting their experiences in other countries, you know, and the differences. And one of the things that the American girl was talking about is how the outlets are so different because they've got the 3-prong with the earth. Plus, every socket has a switch as well, whereas the American socket's not very popular to have individual switches on the outlets and stuff like that. So, yeah. And again, you can always tell whose ass Britain kicked over the years by their plug sockets. Basically, the places that we took over and said, here, hold my beer, we're going to have a war and we're going to win it, because that's what basically the British Empire did. You end up seeing the British plug sockets. So like Malaysia, British plug sockets. Singapore, British plug sockets. Yeah, there's like loads of places that... Hong Kong, British plug... Even in Hong Kong, you'll check into a hotel in Hong Kong and be like, oh, British plug sockets, cool, we don't even need to use our adapters. So we must have taken this place over as well. And you know what? They even have BT plates, British Telecom, stamped on the plate. Even in places like India. It's amazing. God, doesn't he rant? So yeah, check it out. I love these ones, look. Yeah, this woman, she died twice, got a PCR test, and became a doctor all in 1 week. I used to have a folder full of these. There was one particular woman that must have been a crisis actor in about every single news report for about 6 weeks, or 6 events, should I say, over a period of weeks. I just catching up with people with a chat what they're up to. So that's always suspicion, isn't it? And again, I've seen loads of videos of the way they stage all these things as well. But a lot of the time, they're so lazy. Whenever they show you something about, oh, look at everybody dying in the ICU wards and the hospital's ram-packed and we need to flatten the curve. And then you actually find out that footage was of an ICU ward after a plane crash in Italy from 2016, right? And it's just like, Well, if it was packed full of people that were all dying of something, it wouldn't be difficult to get footage of that. Why would you need to pretend? Why would you need to use footage from 2016 in a hospital that's not even in the same country and try and pass it off as being a load of people dying of the flu? You know what I mean? Anyway, and that's how they do it. They just stage it all up like this, right? And just use the same person. And, you know, there was all those people showing the photographers and all that for the media outlets where they were showing all the people carrying all the equipment. And they were carrying people on a gurney across the street and they were all dressed up like that. And the guy was just in his apartment, just filming it out of his apartment. And they had literally cameramen and they had boom mics, you know, and they were following them down the street. And then they'd go, cut. And then they'd go back again and do another take. And they'd walk down the street with the camera. And the guy's walking down the street with the mic boom. With the dudes all dressed up like this. Yeah. And sure enough, that's what they end up getting to see on the news that night. And everyone just laps it up as though that's an actual person who's actually got some sort of an actual virus and is actually dying. But what it actually is, is nothing like that at all. It's so annoying. And I know that no one else, or barely any, not no one else, but very few other people, unfortunately, are going to get to see the footage that I have seen of things like that. So to them, they watch this bollocks on the, you know, on their out of their telly, and they think these are actually people that are dying. It's mean. It's so deceitful and mean to manipulate people's emotions like that by making someone feel empathetic and compassionate for someone who doesn't even exist. Yeah? It's like a really nasty psychological trick. It's like when a woman threatens to leave a man, yeah? And the man makes up some illness and says, oh, I've just found out that I'm dying of cancer and now you're going to leave me. And he's not really dying of cancer. He's making it up because he thinks it's going to be a way of guilt tripping her into staying with him. And vice versa. Women, you know how it is. Women do the same thing back with things like pretending they're pregnant when they get panicked, you know, when a relationship's ending and they don't want it to end, and you know how it is. There's no point pretending it doesn't happen. So it happens on both sides, and it's a very similar nasty, you know, sort of nasty in a very deceptive, manipulative, nasty, emotional way. You know what I mean? I've really got issue with that. And so the way the mainstream's doing it daily, yeah, by, you know, particularly people like me, and I know there's lots of people like me, I'm very empathetic. If I've got that gag reflex, you know, if I see someone else crying, it makes me feel really upset. If I see someone else being sick, it makes me want to be sick. You know, like some people don't get that. They don't have that, whatever you call it. But, you know, so it's mean. It's mean because I'm feeling really bad for loads of people that aren't even in a bad place. It's just all bullshit and theatre. So annoying. He's ranting. Types of gangsters. So you got the amateurs. Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't really call them amateurs to their face. But you got the amateurs. At least not a big group of them. You got the intermediates. What a good era that was, eh? What's that, 1950s, is it? Back in the old mafia days? I think that was a pretty cool... Whatever Dick Tracy was. I used to love Dick Tracy growing up. Who used to watch Dick Tracy? And then you got the professionals. And then you got the God mode. Should have had the sound effect for God mode, didn't it? With the old sunglasses and the big massive bifter. And is that not our very own? It's not George Soros sitting there, is it? It might be. I think the image has been squashed a bit, so everyone's face is looking a bit wider than it would normally do. But yeah. His arrival was foretold in the ancient murals. It's a little purdy cat on the walls. Yeah, you know, we've got two little black cats that look very similar to that. Yeah, Nyx and Titch. Aren't they Greek goddesses, I think, or something? But yeah, we got two little black cats. And you know what I say about cats, right? Do you know what? Do you know if you... And don't try this at home. Please don't try this at home. But just to tell you a little secret. Thank you, Milkshift. It was George Soros. Yeah, it looked a bit weird though, didn't it? And Rupert Murdoch, yeah. Was that Rupert Murdoch? I thought that was Rothschild. It is. Look, it's Rothschild. What are you chatting about, rude boy? But I do think that's Soros on the right there. It was last week's Pooping Pigeons winner. Don't forget. So, Oh yes, do you know, don't try this at home, but I'll tell you a little secret about cats. Right, after having quite a few cats throughout my life as pets, is I think if you cut them open and look inside, it's basically like a little alien inside with little control sticks. If you've ever seen Men in Black, right, there's a scene in there where there's a dude who's not really a dude, it's like fake, you know, it's like a fake body because it's a little alien really inside, right, if you've ever seen it. And at the end, he's basically, he's dying, and then he goes, and his face opens up, and there's basically a little alien inside with control sticks. It's basically the same inside cats. They're little aliens, really, yeah. Who do I need to watch, Mr. D? Hold on. Don't know. Anyway, I can't see what Walter Beach. Is that in reference to who it is in there? You missed the play. That is a really good point. Yeah, look at what Shy's saying there. You missed the police street gangs. Oh, we may need to edit it. Mightn't we? Mightn't we need to make some modifications on that? Thank you so much. That's a really good observation. Yeah. And I'd say that's one of the most epic. There you go, Milkfish, Orion's Belt. You know what? You know what? One chat about. What's one chat about there? What were we on? We did the cats. I revealed the secret about what's inside cats. It's like a little alien with control sticks. So what's the next? When a guy is in a old Billy No Mates. When a guy has enough money to end world hunger, end poverty, regenerate the soil and clean the oceans, but instead chooses to pump his money into GMO mosquitoes, blocking out the sun, creating fake meat, and most importantly producing toxic you-know-whats for 7 billion people, you have to ask yourself why. And let's not forget somebody who's gone on and on and on and on about how depopulation is a good thing and we need to reduce the population. He's been caught saying that so many times. And his dad, don't forget, was the founder, I believe, of family planning. Or in America, what's it called? Not family planning. Sorry, remind me if you're live with me in the chat. Not family planning. What was his dad? His dad was the founder of... I can't think of the American term for it, but yeah, we call it planning, family planning in the UK. But the people who sort out things like abortions and all that, right? Planned Parenthood. Thank you so much. Lana Jack wins that. Well done, Lana Jack. Danger Bob. I was going to say close up her rear, but I won't say that because it's Danger Bob. And everybody should thou kneel before our Danger Bob. Oh dear. So yeah, good one. There's a load of stuff as well they've missed off there, as well as the old GMM mosquitoes and all the rest of it. I could add at least 10 to that list. Maybe we'll put them out on the Truth or Trivia over the weeks. That's a good one. Magic Hand, remind me, we need some more Billy No Mate Truth or Trivia red pills for the Truth or Trivia quiz. Next one. Oh, this is amazing. Check it out. Jack Dorsey stepping down from Twitter to focus on churning butter full time. Absolutely classic. How perfect is that? I made reference to Magic Hand earlier when she showed me this one, and I was like, just amazing, like writing ability. Like if you're going to put that meme together, of all the things that you could come up with, churning butter. I honestly can't think of anything more funny to put in there than churning butter. It's perfect. Oh man. So yeah. Amish Jack, says Christina G. So the chances of being killed by a raccoon are slim but never zero. You got more chance of being killed by a raccoon than fucking Omicron though, I tell you that. Like that, what was that other meme? I don't think it was a meme, I think I just said it last week, but about the whole fact that Alec Baldwin is responsible for killing more people than Omicron is. Alec Baldwin's killed more people than Omicron, that's it. Oh, wow. So, those that have had the juice, those that are juice free, battling it out with their swords. All the while, the anti-localists are just watching it all going on, going, yeah, you carry on with your division. Because don't forget, all they need to do is light the fuse, right? They know that cultural dynamics that they've already pre-prepared in certain talking points over the last few years worth of movies, TV shows, news reports, curated specifically to subvert people's thinking on certain topics and subjects, right? Is already pre-prepared. This is what I keep trying to remind people when I talk to them in person about how you can't underestimate these people. These people have had shit planned out for many years, and so they know that they need to get people's mindset changed around topics way ahead of time. Fantasy for adults, everything is going to be okay. Yes. Hopium. So we'll figure out some sort of Christmas shows or something like that along the way. I'll see if I can maybe put some time into getting some extra Christmassy graphics rocking, maybe, or some sort of feature. I'm sure I'll think of something. Feeling all the love, says Sandy. All the love being sent out to everybody. Don't remember seeing this one. Politicians are like Christmas lights. They all hang together, half of them don't work, and the ones that do aren't very bright. That is amazing. Yes. No, I didn't even read that one. I like it when I haven't seen it before. Politicians are like Christmas lights. They all hang together, half of them don't work, and the ones that do aren't very bright. I tell you what, all you got to do really is like look and listen to the Houses of Parliament, to the Senate, to anything like that. And ask yourself the question, are these really the cleverest, most switched on fuckers in the whole country? Yeah, like in America, like out of 330 million people, right? You would think, I mean, this is one of the things growing up, right? I'll tell you this quickly, because it was something I had listed on something I was going to talk about, a different topic. But when I was growing up as a kid, you see, one of my first awakening moments was when I started to actually watch the news. My mum used to watch the news quite a lot, so you sort of like get dragged along with it. So you're watching the news and you'd find, you'd start, even at a young age, I always looked up to like the whole presidents and prime ministers things as being, these were like the cleverest, that was my view of it. These must be the cleverest people in the whole of the country. Otherwise, what are they doing running the place? Yeah, so to me, authority, I've always viewed authority as being something that was, because really the only thing that can have authority over me is knowledge, superior knowledge or intelligence, because otherwise it's the same for everyone, isn't it? Right? If someone tells you to do something and it's stupid, like put your finger there and hit it with the hammer, right? It doesn't matter how authoritative they are, right? They have no authority over you because they don't know what they're talking about, you see? So authority isn't based on just give authority, you follow authority blindly. It's based on a level of education, intelligence, knowledge is the only form of authority that really is significant. And so as a result, or even means anything. So as a result, when you think about as a boy, as a young lad growing up, you just assume that if you're the person that's in control, as you think back in the day, of running the whole country, then they must be the cleverest fuckers of the whole country. But then as you grow up, you start to realise that it's not a meritocracy. These people aren't there because they're the cleverest, most well-natured, most upstanding, most genuine, most trustworthy and switched on strategic thinking people that can solve problems. And that's the first awakening moment, because you already know it's already broken. Yeah? Everything from that point onwards is pointless. It's pointless, it's irrelevant. There has no authority. There is no authority that exists because it's not based on anything. Not even a meritocracy, yeah? And questionably, even whether it's based on a democracy, yeah? Let alone a meritocracy. So anyway, there we go with our little rants again. But it's not a rant, it's just an observation. Yeah, and I wonder how many other people watch Brandon rocking about the way he does, asking themselves the same question. Out of 330 million fucking people, is that the best you could rustle up? Is that the best you could rustle up? Yeah? And again, I can apply that to pretty much every fucking country. Is that the back to the beginning again? It is, isn't it? Wow, what a note to end on. Fucking hell. But, yes. Yes. And again, you know what? Pedigree Mongrel there is saying government equals monopoly, corporation is allowed. Yes, this is exactly the problem. Having worked in the county or state government before, in a reasonably senior role, I've seen why. It's just because they don't have any competitors. Yeah, when you've been parts of like really big established blue chip corporate businesses like I've worked for, and you see the way things are done, you see the way the infrastructure is built within the business and the policies and the training and the manuals and the product demonstrations and there's so many things that are figured out, right, to make them competitive and to basically stand out from the crowd, right? And so when you go from that environment to working in the government, you realise that the reason they're so incompetent is because they've never had to operate in a competitive environment. There's never an incentive to do a good job. Yeah? Because even if you do a shit job, you're still going to have a job next year. Yeah? Doesn't matter. You've got nothing to compare yourself against. But if you're running a business, right, and I don't know, let's just say you're a builder or something, right, building houses. If you're building shit houses that keep falling down, and there's someone else out there that's building really good houses that don't fall down and they're super safe and they don't set themselves on fire and all this other shit or topple over, then just free market economics dictate that the guy doing the good, you know, the entity creating the good quality stuff that's affordable is going to succeed, and rightfully so. The one who can't handle it and isn't good enough and doesn't have the skill, doesn't have the knowledge, doesn't have the intelligence or whatever, is going to fail. But within the government doesn't have that problem. The two-party system isn't a thing, is it? Because at least one of them's going to get in. And it doesn't matter the rest, because everyone else is the same people who do their jobs in the councils and the local state government levels anyway. They don't really switch out at all. All the people that actually do the work, they'll stay the same. So, you know, there's no benefit to doing a good job when you work for the government because there's no competitors. Or else what? Drive on the roads that we build you, or what? What's the alternative? You get another government to build them roads better or them bridges better that don't fall down because it's not corrupt with briefcases of money passed under the table, you know, and gets his brother-in-law to build the bridge because he can scam some money out of it rather than an actual company that can build a bridge properly. These sorts of shit. That's why you get problems like that happening. Anyway, so that was the memes. That was the memes.